Good evening and welcome to the Planning and Zoning Commission meeting for the City of Cedar Falls for December 8th, 2021. We have in-person meeting tonight, and you can also join electronically, and the instructions for doing so in a variety of ways are on the city website. With that, we'll call the meeting to order, and a roll call vote by Karen.
Chrisman? Gribovich?
Present.
Hartley?
Here.
Larson?
Here.
Holst? Leeper?
Here.
Lynch?
Here.
Moser?
Here.
Saul. We have two absent tonight, Saul and Holst.
Okay, thank you, Karen. With that, I would entertain a motion for the minutes from the November 10th meeting.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
I just want to make sure everybody's microphone is on. It seemed like everybody's voices were a little bit low, just
Your
making sure.
light's not on, push the button.
Okay.
All right. At this time, we would open it up for public comments, and those are for items not on the agenda tonight. But if you have anything that you'd like to speak to, not on the agenda, you can come up now.
Nothing in Zoom.
Nothing online. With that, we will bring it to old business, which we have none tonight. And so we'll go to new business. And the first item is College Hill Design Review for Quick Trip Remodel at 2019 College Street. And JD, I think you're going to kick us off on this one?
Yes, thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
Cooper. This is the first case for tonight. It's about College Hill Neighborhood Design Review for a Quick Trip at 2019 College Street. This, as you can see on your screen, it's located right off College, and it's in C3 zoning district and College Hill Neighborhood Overlay Zoning District. So there are two zones on it. The subject property has been a gas station since 1994. And with this proposal, I think it's still going to be used as is. So when we have a facade renovation or substantial improvements that alters the exterior appearance or character of the neighborhood, at that time, Planning and Zoning Commission review and City Council review is required. For this project, the proposal includes a few items. As you can see on the screen, there is existing and proposed scenario for the building and the gas canopy. One of the things that they're doing is to replace the exterior appearance by changing the vinyl sidings and the red brick areas to mostly brick product in the visible areas. And on the back facade, they will be replacing with a new vinyl siding. Apart from it, they are also trying to highlight some architectural features by using stucco in tan finish, upgrade soffit lightings, and also update design of the canopy, including adding lighting on the canopy as well. Also, they will be changing the fuel dispenser colors to red, which is white in color right now. So those are some of the number of items that will be proposed. So the positives from this are the facade and material updates on existing building looks great, and also the enhancing the architectural features of the building will be a great aspect of this project. Staff finds that both the proposal or the proposed ideas will enhance the look of the site as well as enhance the character of the building and the surrounding areas. Also, the building material proposed will be bringing this building closer to compliance to the code, not necessarily to the code, as the storefront windows will still remain non-compliant because they're not changing any size of openings. One of the concerns that staff found was the gas canopy lighting. So as you can see on the top right picture, I think that's the proposed design, and the red strip that you see will be glowing in the night. There's also a nighttime impression of the gas canopy. So staff finds that the proposed look is more appropriate for a highway or like peripheral city areas and not a neighborhood. Staff also finds or recommends non-illuminative solutions or alternatives to red LED strips on the gas canopy to preserve the character of the neighborhood and prevent nuisance. Staff strongly recommends against inviting nuisance complaint about the gas canopy lighting because, as per nuisance ordinance, this interferes with the character of the neighborhood, and also since this area is mostly occupied by housing and tenants, so we don't want to hear more complaints on future if this is allowed. With that, staff recommends approval of the submitted College Hill neighborhood application for updating the facade materials, gas canopy, and signage for Quick Trip, provided that the LED strip is removed from the design of the canopy. With that, I would also say we have received a correspondence letter from College Hill Partnership that was passed on to the commission yesterday. So that was their review and recommendation as well. And I believe the applicant will be online to answer any questions, and I will be available for answering any questions that the commission has. Thank you.
Thank you, JD. Would the applicant like to speak to the item, or it's perfectly fine if you just want to answer questions, but if you'd like to speak to the item, you could raise your hand on the Zoom call.
Chris here with Quick Trip. Hear me okay?
We can.
Yeah, just here to answer any kind of questions.
Okay, thank you. All right, with that, is there anyone from the public that would like to speak to this item? All right, with that, we'll bring it back to the commission for questions for any of those groups. I guess we can ask any questions. Seeing none, I would entertain a motion.
I move to approve the proposal as submitted and without any change to the lighting on the gas canopy.
Is there a second?
I'd second that.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Comments, questions?
The picture that was referenced on with showing an example of the red light around the overhang of the canopy appeared to be the location in Cedar Falls along Green Hill, and there's residential around there no differently, and in my estimation, and I guess it's kind of in my neighborhood. I frequent it. I feel like the red diffuse light from the canopy is nowhere near the amount of light pollution from the general lighting of the filling area and the parking by itself. So I just feel like it is kind of a moot issue in my mind. And also I question if there's any sort of technical standard that we'd be using to try and stop them from doing so. So those are my thoughts and reason for the motion as I proposed.
Other comments?
Is it possible for them to just turn that light off? If we end up getting complaints about that, can they turn that part of the canopy off?
It's probably not in our purview to make that happen.
So I just have a comment. And the reason that staff finds it's different than in, like, for example, on Green Hill and some of the outlying areas is those rights of way are really wide, and the houses are pretty distant from the gas station. In this particular case, the gas station is directly across the street from buildings that have apartments that are right there. And so it's a fairly narrow, it's a neighborhood commercial area. And the purview of the commission is to review these to make sure that they're consistent with the character of this neighborhood commercial area. So gas stations in general tend to be pretty bright with their under canopy lights as well, and to add this additional light that will basically be only viewable from across the street and, you know, from those areas where residents are living, And with the comments from the College Hill Partnership in support of the gas station improvements, which we believe are positive, but that the lighting of the canopy could lead to issues where the city has to enforce things and through our nuisance ordinance and then have to bring actions against. And we just don't want to set up a situation where we're basically inviting nuisance light and nuisance problems in the future. And it doesn't seem to be a particularly necessary, it's just a design element. And so we didn't feel like it was integral to the importance of the gas station as a use and a function. So I would just add those comments.
Was there a notice that went out to the abutting property owners on a proposal like this?
Yes, but of course the tenants wouldn't have received that notice, just the property owners.
Were there any concerns or complaints about the accent lighting, we'll call it?
Well, you heard from the College Hill Partnership, which has representatives from the residents, from the business district, and they have representatives on their board from all those entities, and the letter that went out would have been approved by the board.
Thanks.
Having recently moved, I have some green lights across the street, and the whole world looks green all the time. So, yeah, not a big issue, but subtle thing, I think.
One could argue that that's character for living in an urban sort of setting, too.
Sure. All right, we have any other comments?
How does this compare with the current lighting at the gas station?
Question is how does it compare to the current lighting at the gas station?
At present, they don't have any canopy lighting. They have the lightings within the canopy, like that highlights the fuel dispensers and the area. But at present, they don't have any lighting on the gas canopy. So with this proposed change, they will be adding a lighting onto the existing structure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Has this been discussed with the applicant? I mean, do they have any concerns about removing the lighting?
Though I think we have conveyed the same thing, and I think they just wanted to bring this to the commission to see the thoughts. But yes, we have already talked about finding alternatives because of the way the site is located. I think we have a mixed-use building with retails on main floor and apartments above, just opposite to this area, and also college apartments to the south and the other side of the creek as well. So yeah, I think we have conveyed it, and he was okay with the alternatives, but he just wanted to bring this to commission and see what the commission's thoughts were.
Okay. Any other comments? All right, we'll have a roll call vote, Karen.
Okay. Chrisman?
Yes, but not with the canopy lighting.
Yeah, so the current issue is, yeah, so we would need to vote it down
Okay, then
if we
no.
wanted to do that.
No.
Okay.
Gribovich?
No.
Hartley?
Aye.
Larson?
Aye?
Leeper?
Nay.
Lynch?
Nay.
Moser?
Nay.
Okay, that motion fails.
All right. Is there another motion we would like to?
Motion to approve as written with no canopy lighting.
Okay. We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. Any other further comments that we haven't talked about? A roll call vote, Karen?
Okay. Chrisman?
Aye.
Gribovich?
Aye.
Hartley?
Aye.
Larson?
Aye.
Leeper?
Aye.
Lynch?
Aye.
Moser? Aye.
All right, so that item passes and we'll go on to council here. So thank you for that. Next item of business, new business is a preliminary plat for Cedar Falls West Viking Road Industrial Park, Phase 5. And Michelle, I think you're going to lead us off. Is that true?
For the most part.
Okay.
So just a couple introductory remarks. We have several people in the audience here that have been integral to preparing this plat. This is the city's property for the city's industrial park. We have Eric Cannon here from Snyder and Associates. They've been working with the city engineer's office to do the technical work on the plat. We have Matt Tolan here from the city engineer's office, and we also have Shane Graham, who has been working with this, as you know, through the annexation and the rezoning of the property, and he's had been involved with a lot of conversations with the neighbors about how to integrate the new industrial park area in with the surrounding properties. So Michelle's going to go through just an explanation of the plat itself, but then if there's any additional questions, there's other people that we can call on as well that might be able to answer the questions as well. So I just want to make note of that.
Great, thank you.
Thank you, Karen. The applicant is proposing a preliminary plat that will have 29 buildable lots and 4 outlots that will contain the regional stormwater management areas and buffers on approximately 200 acres of land. The site is located south of West Viking Road and east of the South Union Road, west of the existing Viking Industrial Park, and the property has been leased out as farmland. And due to the size and orientation of the property, we are reorientated. The north will be on your right on the screen for the rest of the slides. So in June of 2020, the city rezoned the 200 acres to be planned light industrial, and the city adopted a master plan that consists with berms, landscaping, buffers, trail amenities, and regional stormwater detention plan. The plan also included a boulevard entrance off of West Viking Road. The city heard from the neighbors during the annexation process and the rezoning process. The city heard concerns about traffic, spillover, glare from lights, and proximity to the industrial uses. This plan was also presented to the neighbors, showing the buffers between existing residential houses and the plat. The code does require a 40-foot buffer strip of landscaping consists of trees, shrubs, or grasses, and free of buildings and storage areas. The city has proposed at least 50 feet of vegetation berm through easements or outlots and additional setbacks with locations of the stormwater ponds. And with their proposed application, those amenities have not changed from the original master plan, and the plat is substantially the same as the master plan. The plat will be divided in 2 phases, phase 5 and phase 6. The construction of the roads are in actual 3 phases. The city council will have to approve the construction plans for the project before it can go out to bid. Once the bid is approved by city council, the city may apply for the final plat. Staff proposes the improvements shown in gray in the blue area for the first phase. The city has 3 lots set aside for a potential buyer, and the potential buyer will build that first building, and their construction traffic will come off of West Viking Road approximately from October 15th, 2022 to when the city's roads are completed. The rest of the construction for the rest of the plat and all the buildings will be coming through the existing industrial park. There was a lot of discussion around where this temporary road would be, and the phasing plan that was associated with the packet showed this area to be off of Union Drive, and staff found that that wasn't feasible, partly because it was a county road and it's also gravel. So the next place would be moving it to West Viking Road, and this is also existing access to the property through the farm field. The first step of when the city takes, once the bid is done, the city will have the site and detention area to be completely graded for phase 1. And then the second phase, which would be phase 6 in this case, consists of 11 lots, and the city is projecting that this will be done by 2024. In 2023, the city will be working on improvements, a complete reconstruction of West Viking Road. And at that time, the connection from Viking Road to Technology Parkway will be complete, as well as a trail that will go around the pond and down to Technology Parkway. So this is what the preliminary plat looks like, and as mentioned, those concerns that we've had and the buffers that are proposed are shown in the plat through outlots and easements. The plat is within the light industrial planned district, and the minimum lot is, the smallest it can go is a ½ acre. The city is proposing 2 acres to 17 acres for the plat of lots. The land does not have any significant concerns with any floodwaters or environmental concerns, and so it's suitable for redevelopment. And as already mentioned, the stormwater will be a regional plan as and be within outlots. So tonight we are gathering any comments for the next planning commission. We will be providing corrections to the plat as shown in the phasing plan. And I also wanted to make note that there was a scheduled meeting for public meeting to be on December 16th. It was originally planned for December 7th, but due to conflicts with the city council, we had to move it to December 16th, and that will be held at the Public Works facility off of Technology Way from 5:30 to 6:30, and I'm available for any questions.
Thank you, Michelle. Any questions for Michelle? Either of the engineers want to speak to this item specifically? If so, name and address, please.
Chairman, members of the commission, Eric Cannon, 2727 Southwest Snyder Boulevard, Ankeny, Iowa, here on behalf of Snyder & Associates. I think staff has done an excellent job presenting the project to you guys. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you guys have.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for the applicant? All right, does anyone from the public like to speak to this item? If so, come up to the podium, and if your name and address, please.
Hello, Bruce Barradin, 6337 Viking. Obviously, nobody that's lived out there for 20 years is thrilled about the industrial park coming out. But so I'm just speaking for myself. I've appreciated the city staff. Even during the pandemic, we had outside meetings, and Snyder was there, and everybody else is there. So we've had a lot of input, and I was just thankful to see that the platting that came out was essentially everything that we talked about. So I appreciate they're trying to make some mitigation to our property and how this is going to go, smaller lots in the front, larger lots in the back. So just want to thank city staff and Snyder.
Great, thank you, Bruce. Anyone else that would like to speak to this item? All right, with that, we'll bring it back to the commission. Again, this item is for introduction and discussion tonight.
I have kind of a question. It looked like the color-coded phasing plan that was on screen looked a little bit different than the one in the packet. The one in the packet shows what looks like a road connection from the west and a stub into, I believe, Lot 8. Can you clarify that, and also the timing of what would be paved when, and the overall timeline for the first phase, I guess?
Yeah, so I have the plan here, similar to what you see on the screen there. So one unique thing that did change is there was a road that kind of connected right here before. That has gone away. There is a user that is in line for 8, 9, and 10. So there is no need for that road connection anymore, as they will be taking down that entire area and developing it as one site. So really the only change from that previous project was this connection, and there were some small lots there on the west side of the plat. So in essence, everything else has stayed the same from an alignment standpoint. The phasing change also supports that. Before, we were not going to build this road all the way out. We were really just looking to get this core in. With this user going online, we did need to get public street access to them as well as utilities. So we really kind of just grew this northwest corner a little bit with the initial phase of the project. So that's the change you're seeing.
So lot 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13 are to be used by one entity?
Just 8, 9, and 10.
Yeah.
8, 9, and 10.
Yep.
And that would be accessible from the cul-de-sac.
Yeah, from the extension of Venture Way cul-de-sac.
Is there any reason it's not platted that way then?
What do you mean?
As one lot versus three?
Oh, as one lot?
Yeah.
My understanding is they're going to take it down in 3 phases as far as the purchase agreement goes.
Okay.
So they won't be buying everything at once.
It just looks a little bit unorthodox to me with the standards that I've seen upheld in general, where we've got lot 9 and lot 10 that don't have any sort of road access or connection. So if this deal were to fall apart without knowing the intimate details of it, what happens to those lots then? We're platting lots that go to nowhere
I'll
potentially.
let staff address that.
Okay.
Sorry. Thanks for the question, Kyle. This is Shane Graham, Economic Development Coordinator. Actually, on the plat, you'll see there is an ingress-egress easement that is platted that will go to, which will be a new road, Innovation Drive, to allow access to Lot 9. So, I mean, it would be in the current plan that the user that we're talking to would use that for access as they move along with their phases. But even if that deal falls through, that would still be available for access to lot number 9.
And then lot 10 would be accessed from the south?
It could be,
potentially?
yeah, yep. It could be the extension of Technology Parkway as well. So I'll just say the way the original plan was set up, you're right, had that road going around. This actually works a lot better for us to push this project further to the west, and it actually gives us 3 more lots along Innovation Drive, which is kind of what would be the main corridor of this expanded industrial park. So staff was happy with that, and the company we're talking to was happy with that as well. So.
Well, I guess where I'm going with this is I feel like it's being held to a different standard than specifically and recently the Thunder Ridge development, where there was lot 7, as I recall, that there was some controversy as to whether it would be included in phase 1 and phase 2. And what I see on here is that easement or no easement, there are 2 lots that don't really have a road connection in this plat proposal. So if it were to be held to the same standard, that east-west road Technology Parkway would be put in right away. And then lot, I guess the one in the middle, lot 9, that would need a road connection to it as well from that north-south road, or else would need to be combined with lot 8 or lot 10 so that they all have road access and connection. I get the idea, but I just am questioning if we're holding this to the same standard as we did the Thunder Ridge project, and would be glad to stand corrected with additional detail.
So I think the difference here is that the city is funding and constructing the roadways, all the roadways in this subdivision. So the other example that you gave with Thunder Ridge, we're trying to ensure that private development is building the roads, and we can be assured that road connections will be made. So in this particular case, phase 2 includes, clearly over a third of the subdivision. In that case, there's a lot of upside development potential in that to incentivize building those additional roads. So I think those are a couple differences from what we saw and what we talked about with Thunder Ridge.
So in other words, we're saying that we trust the city to put in a road within a certain amount of time or within certain stipulations, but not as much as we would a private citizen or a private developer. Am I understanding that correctly?
I think the difference with Thunder Ridge was there's only 2 lots, 2 small lots in Phase 2, and there wasn't enough development incentive then to finish the subdivision for those 2 potential lots, and that was the reason that staff had recommended against that. And it was similar to what happened down near Aldrich Elementary School, where the very last phase of that subdivision only had a few lots, and so there's no incentive for them to build those last final few lots and connect that road because there's not enough profit to warrant the cost of constructing that last segment of road. So that is really what we're talking about here is if, roads are costly to build, and so we want to make sure there's enough development potential in the phases to warrant construction of the infrastructure. And I think on both counts here, number one, we have the assurance that the city's doing the infrastructure here, and it has a really good track record in our industrial park to complete the infrastructure, and we're trying to promote economic development in our industrial park and have a good track record for completing our infrastructure. And secondly, over a third of this subdivision is yet to be built. So it would be done in 2 phases. That second phase is substantial.
Well, I think those are all good things, and I'm not trying to stand in the way of this. I'm just more or less trying to ensure that that we don't have a potential double standard or even an argument for that with the optics of this. Are there any examples in the past where there's been a lot or lots platted as numbered lots that don't have any sort of road access or connection? Because that's what I kind of keep circling back to with 9 and 10.
We can certainly provide some examples, but Lot 10 does have road access. It's got access to Technology Parkway.
Is it accurate to say that if indeed we do have one owner of those 3 lots, that stub out road would not be constructed?
I didn't hear you, Brad.
Is it, I don't know if that's true or not, but would that be required?
I'm going to ask Shane, you're going to answer that?
Well, the buyer can't buy 1 or 3 of those lots until the final plat's approved. Is that not correct?
Yeah, sorry, I didn't get the question, Brad.
Well, we're talking about that stub road. Is that what you're asking about, Kyle? Which I think is a fair question.
I didn't hear you again.
There's the little easement kind of road that might come in as.
This ingress right here.
Yeah.
If that would get built, if this owner does take down both of these lots, would this still get built across lot 12, or would they just use the internal circulation?
No, if they move forward with the second and third phase, they want that access
Okay.
to the east, right?
All right. So never mind.
So is
There's
that
going to be a lot of
easement?
commercial subdivisions that have multiple buildings on one lot or multiple buildings that have access easements and private streets. I think we just did one fairly recently, but we can bring back some examples if you would like us to show them.
Yeah, I think that'd be good. I don't think we need to get any further into this, but just I think some clarity on a few of these things would be helpful, and maybe some examples. And I see the access to lot 9. I guess lot 10 is I think a reasonable question. I can't recall any time I've ever seen a platted lot that didn't have a road access connection to it. So it just seems a little bit funny to me. So we'll leave it at that, and we can follow up later.
It's a fair question. I think as the public, starts to ask us questions that we follow the same rules. So thank you. Any other comments? All right, hearing none, that will come back to us at the next meeting.
Yeah, that's right. And I do want to ask if, toward the end of the meeting, what kind of quorum we're going to have for the meeting on the 22nd. I didn't get an answer from everybody, so if you can just let me know so we make sure that we have people here for that meeting.
quick show of hands if you will be here on the 22nd.
All right, so we got 6. All right, very good. We'll have a quorum then.
All right. With that, that closes our new business. Any commission updates?
I don't have anything tonight.
I would certainly entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Stay warm.